Hi, my name's Emily Kyle. Thank you for joining me for a few minutes. So today's question is, what's an ABLE account and should I open one? So an ABLE account, which stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience, those accounts were established by Congress as a way to help people who are on government assistance actually save money. Because it doesn't seem fair that we teach everybody, our children, to understand the value of a dollar and that the goal is to save money so that when something comes up, you have the finances to pay for it. And yet, with programs like SSI, Supplemental Security Income, and All-Tax benefits, long-term Medicaid, you can't have more than $2,000. So there's no place to save money for a rainy day, for extras, or for an emergency. So an ABLE account is a place to put those monies. So it's a really great place if the accounts are starting to get close to $2,000 to move excess money into the ABLE account, because money in an ABLE account does not count towards that $2,000 limit. Up to $16,000 a year can be contributed to the ABLE account, and that's not per person. That's the total amount to be contributed in a calendar year. And there's no catch-up provision. So if you didn't do it before, you can't then put in more than that. And that is tied to the gift tax exclusion amount. So if that changes over time, then that number will also change. And the account has to stay below $100,000 in order to retain SSI benefits. Money in an ABLE account can be used for pretty much anything that benefits the beneficiary. And it can be used to pay for food and shelter costs without impacting benefits at all. It can also be used for education, for vacations, pay a cell phone bill, buy clothing. Again, pretty much anything that benefits that beneficiary. Most states have their own ABLE programs. So if you're searching for the one for Arizona, it's az-able.com. If you just Google ABLE accounts, you might end up in a different state. And it's really nice if you can use the one that's here for Arizona. The other thing about an ABLE account is you can leave the money in cash, or it can be invested in the account, and it grows on a tax-free basis, just like a 529 education plan. And as long as the funds are used for the benefit of that beneficiary, they come out on its income tax-free basis too. So if you had some gain in that investment, there wouldn't be any tax that needs to be paid on that investment. The Arizona program allows you to get a debit card associated with it. So it's great, particularly if you have a beneficiary who wants to feel independent and can be more independent. Looks like any other debit card, doesn't look like anything weird. They can use it, when they go to get their haircut or at the grocery store to buy an iced tea or whatever it is they want. You just load onto the card however much money is going to be spent in that month. Also, for you, if you're taking care of somebody who isn't independent, then you have money on the card where you can buy things. You can go to the drugstore and pick up over-the-counter supplies or get bedding or whatever it is that that individual might need. So it's very, very convenient. If the beneficiary is on All-Tax benefits, All-Tax will ask for a report each year to see the statements typically from the ABLE account just to make sure the funds are being used for that beneficiary. So it's a really great program. Couple of issues. There is a payback requirement on the account so that when the beneficiary dies, other than some administrative expenses or funeral costs, what's in the account will go back to the state that provided Medicaid services to that beneficiary up to the amount of the services that were provided. So be conscientious of that. We always recommend that funeral expenses be paid first before money goes into a special needs trust or an ABLE account, but you can use money from an ABLE account for those costs, those final expenses for burial or cremation. So again, keep an eye on it to make sure that the account value is not going to exceed $100,000. And the ABLE account is supposed to reject any contribution that would exceed the $16,000 in a calendar year. Also, only one ABLE account per beneficiary. So grandma and grandpa or mom and dad can't each set up a separate ABLE account for the beneficiary. Only the first one that was established will be excluded for public benefit purposes. The other thing is, at least in Maricopa County, it is possible that if there are funds in an ABLE account and you then apply for guardianship, that you will not be able to get all of the fees and costs waived because the money is considered to be the money of that incapacitated or disabled person. So just think about when it is you want to fund the account. We think it's great, again, for overages when somebody's been working and their account starts to build up, or they aren't spending all of the Social Security money in the same month. We also had a beneficiary who did a scratch-off lottery ticket, which was great for him, only then it put him over the resource limit. So the funds were put into the ABLE account. The money has to be reported to SSI as well as to Altex, but the money in the account should be completely excluded for benefit purposes. I hope that's helpful. Again, I'm Emily Kyle, and thank you so much for listening.